Gloves on.
Hang on. Let me just check this one.
All right.
Man, I told you to wear gloves.
As a maritime professional, the tools you'll use the most are your own two hands, which is why keeping them safe from injury is of the utmost importance. In this video, we've divided hand safety awareness into 3 critical steps: the common injuries and steps to prevent them, the gloves you'll wear when working. Before any job, it's a good idea to have a toolbox talk to assess any risk to hands or otherwise. Make sure you're wearing the right gloves and make sure they fit properly.
Well, hand safety is very important as far as what you can actually do with your hands, your grip, your grasp, and how you actually can operate. The most common injuries you'll see in the maritime industry really involve probably cuts, bruises, and burns. A lot of times we're working around things that have thermal associated risk to it, piping that's hot and hot work from welding operations and such.
The #1 cause of hand injuries in the maritime workplace is human error, whether from not paying attention or from lack of or improper safety equipment. In this video, we'll show you the PPE you'll use to keep your hands safe, including the different gloves appropriate for different jobs.
Hey, when workers come through, we actually do an orientation, sit down and go through the different processes, let them know the PPE that's actually applicable for their hand safety, and make sure they understand the limitations of that gear as well.
Proper safety practices are always your best lines of defense, followed by PPE, but they can't eliminate the possibility of injury 100%. We'll provide a summary of basic first aid procedures should an incident occur. Hand injuries in the maritime workplace are common and can happen almost anywhere on board a ship, on the deck, in the engine room, and even in the accommodations and galley. The types of hand injuries can be broken down into 4 general categories: crushing injuries, contact injuries including temperature and chemical burns, cuts and lacerations, repetitive motion injuries.
In the maritime industry, there's always a risk involved in crushing activities, especially if you're handling lines and such. If you get in between the line and a cleat or a bit or something like that, and tension actually switched onto the boat or the barge, can get your hand in between the eye of the line and a bit, and that can cause a devastating crushing injury.
Hands can get crushed in moving parts on mooring winches and drums. When spooling line during retrieval, stay back to avoid having your hands sucked into the drums. Hatches and door jambs and any other pinch points should always be approached with care. Follow proper safety practices for gangway and pilot ladder rigging. Stay alert around fan belts, right angle drives, and rotating engine room machinery, all of which may present the risk of crushing injuries. Remove any watches, bracelets, or rings when working with automated or rotating machinery. Contact injuries, including heat and chemical burns, happen most frequently in the engine room or galley. Exercise caution when performing welding and other hot work, or when exposed to chemicals. Refer to a chemicals warning labels and safety data sheets for handling information. Hand injuries may be caused by leaks from hot steam pipes and fuel lines or hot oil in machinery. Exercise caution when working with hot foods, in and around ovens and ranges, or with boiling liquids or splattering oils. You should always be on the lookout for any sharp objects, whether exposed sheet metals, nails and splinters, or broken glass, all of which can cause cuts and lacerations. Sometimes you may be required to use tools that can cause serious cuts if used improperly, such as hand saws or power saws. However, if using a table saw, gloves are not recommended because the glove can get caught in the spinning saw blade. Even simple tools, like knives, whether work knives or kitchen knives used in food preparation, can cause hand injury. Last but not least, conditions like tendinitis and bursitis can develop as a result of repetitive motion activities. Taking regular breaks and stretching your hands are the two best ways to prevent repetitive motion injuries from occurring. Remember to use common sense and take the extra steps needed to keep your hands safe, even if they may be inconvenient. Different tasks require different kinds of hand protection. Lines, chains, and wires can cause injury to hands. So too can exposure to chemicals or hot surfaces. There are many kinds of gloves, but the three general categories are rubber gloves, leather gloves, cut-resistant gloves.
One glove doesn't work for every certain application. Examples, we have a real light nitrile glove here. This would be good for just handling some basic light chemicals, nothing real heavy.
Depending on the types of chemicals being handled, nitrile rubber gloves can provide necessary protection.
For heavy paint and things like that, we use a heavier rubber nitrile glove as well.
Rubber gloves will also be used to provide insulation when handling electricity. For welding and other hot work, long-sleeve leather gloves should be worn to provide adequate protection.
Welding operations and hot work, you've got these full leather gloves right here that basically will protect your hands during all of your welding and brazing and scarfing, burning and cutting activities as well, using hot flames.
Heat-resistant leather gloves and/or oven mitts should also be worn when working in the galley to prevent burns and other injury. Meanwhile, cold weather gloves should be waterproof and keep you warm, but should also prevent your hands from sweating. Cut-resistant gloves are commonly made of Kevlar or metal mesh. It is important to remember that cut-resistant gloves are not cut-proof. Be sure to check with your supervisor that the gloves you're wearing are appropriate for the product you're working with.
And then one of the more common gloves, just a regular cotton glove, but actually it has a rubber coating on the outside. It's good for dexterity and actually handling things.
Choose a pair of gloves that fit well and help you maintain a good grip on the product you're working with. There is rarely a one-size-fits-all. In general, the thicker the glove's material, the more protection it provides. But thicker gloves may reduce mobility.
There are gloves that should not be worn at times when you're working around equipment such as a pedestal grinder or something where it can suck your hand into the machine itself.
When deciding which PPE to use, there are three things to remember. Always have a toolbox meeting before beginning operations to assess the potential risks. Make sure to wear the right gloves for right tasks. Wearing the wrong PPE is like not wearing PPE at all. And as always, make sure it fits.
For anyone that does have a hand injury, we do require them to report it immediately, and we do have on-site first aid available. And if it's a serious situation, we actually have a medical center located within a mile away from the shipyard.
When treating a cut or laceration, always wear disposable gloves. Wash exposed skin with soap and warm water, and apply pressure to stop the bleeding. Treat any wound as if it were contaminated. When dealing with a small burn injury, flush the area with water and apply burn ointment and a sterile dressing. If a burn injury is severe, seek immediate professional medical help. Do not remove any burned clothing as it may remove tissue with it. In this video, we've divided hand safety awareness into three critical steps. 1. The common injuries and steps to prevent them, including crushing injuries, contact injuries, cuts and lacerations, and repetitive motion injuries. 2. The gloves you'll wear when working, rubber gloves, leather gloves, and cut-resistant gloves. Before any job, it's a good idea to have a toolbox talk to assess any risk to hands or otherwise. Make sure you're wearing the right gloves, and make sure they fit properly. When treating cuts, burns, or other contact injuries, clean and sterilize the area with warm water and soap before applying ointment and dressing. Keep pressure on the cut or laceration to prevent further bleeding. and seek medical attention if necessary. Safety is the most important thing when working with your hands. Stop work if you aren't prepared or don't have the right equipment for the job. Protect your hands and you'll protect the two most important tools at sea.